Hello, friends. Thank you so much for keeping me in your prayers the last few days. I know that you at school knew that I get headaches sometimes, and I had a really bad one for a few days. And so I thank you for understanding and being patient and allowing me to take time to heal. So today I have three stories for us. We are getting very close to Easter, so we want to stay close to our Holy Week readings. So today our first story is Jesus blesses the children. You! It is from Matthew chapter 19, verse 13 through 15, Mark chapter 10, 13 through 16, and Luke chapter 18, 15 through 17. Jesus and his disciples stopped in many towns in Judea. Just as in Galilee, crowds of people came to see and hear Jesus. In one place, people brought their children to him. They wanted Jesus to place his hands on the children and bless them. But the disciples told the people to go away and stop bothering Jesus. So here they are. They're trying to take their kids to have blessings too. Jesus heard them. He said, "Let the children come to me. Don't try to stop them. People who are like these little children belong to the kingdom of God. I promise you that you cannot get into God's kingdom unless you accept it the way a child does." When Jesus took the children in his arms and blessed them by placing his hands on their heads. So Jesus is saying, children like you are very special. You believe and love Jesus with your whole heart. You try so hard to be like Jesus and to make good choices. And he says that people, adults, should be more like you. Our next story is a miracle in Jericho. It is from Mark 10, 46 through 52, Luke chapter 18, 35 through 43, and Matthew chapter 20, 29 through 34. A miracle in Jericho. A blind man sat near the side of the road to the city of Jericho. He was begging for coins. So he was blind. It looks like he has those ragged clothes again. Maybe he doesn't have a house. He might not have a lot of money. And he has his hand out. He is begging for money. He is hoping that people will give him money so that he can go buy food or maybe new clothes or something for him because he's blind and maybe he's unable to work. Suddenly the beggar heard the sound of voices. He could tell that a large crowd of people was coming. They sounded excited. So he can't see them coming. He can only hear them. So just by listening, he was able to know that they sounded excited and that there was a lot of them coming. When the voices got closer, the man said, "Tell me what is happening." Because he can't see, right? He doesn't know what's happening. Why are they excited? Someone told him that Jesus from Nazareth was passing by. The blind man shouted, "Jesus, Son of David, have pity on me." So he just stood up right there and shouted that. Shh, be quiet, said the people in the crowd. But this just made the man shout louder, "Jesus, have pity on me." That means, have pity on me means, please help me. See that I am struggling and I need you. So, the other picture, it says Son of David. Since the Jewish people expected the Messiah to come from the family of King of David, the Messiah was often referred to as Son of David. When they called Jesus the Son of David, it showed that he believed Jesus was the Messiah. So the Jewish people believed too that he was the Messiah because they called him the Son of David. Well, at least this guy that said that did. Jesus stopped. He told some people to bring the blind man over to him. The man's name was Bartimaeus. It's a very long name. Jesus asked him, "What do you want me to do for you?" "Lord, I want to see," he answered. Jesus told him, "Look, and you will see." Your eyes are healed because of your faith." Now he could see. He saw Jesus and all the people around him. Everyone praised God for this miracle. There was only one thing that he wanted to do then. He wanted to join the people and go with Jesus, and he did. So Jesus performed a miracle, allowed him to see again because of his faith, because he believed in God, right? He was sitting there begging, and when he found out right away that Jesus was coming, he shouted and asked him for pity, which means he had faith. He knew that Jesus could help him. He believed in Jesus, and so Jesus had that miracle for him because of his faith. And so once he could see, he decided that he was going to follow Jesus and join them as they went and continue to teach about God and see the other miracles that Jesus was performing. So here he is. Look how happy he is that he can now see. All right, our last story for today. A sinner is saved. It is from Luke chapter 19, verse 1 through 10. Jesus was walking through the city of Jericho. Many people were crowding around him. A man named Zacharias saw the crowd coming. He was a rich man, but he was not an honest man, so he didn't tell the truth. He was in charge of collecting taxes in Jericho. And it says taxes, this money paid by people to the government for the cost of things to be built and shared, like roads. Zacharias was the chief tax collector in Jericho, which means, so still to this day, adults have to pay taxes. So the roads that we drive on, the things that we all share where we live, are paid with our taxes. They make those things with the money that we give, we have to give. And Zacharias was the man that went around and collected these taxes, this money, from the people who lived in Jericho. He asked poor people for more money than they owed and kept the extra money for himself. So not only is he not honest, but he's not very kind either. He's not having Jesus in his heart. So people who don't have a lot, he's asking them to give more money than they're supposed to, because he's then taking that extra money and keeping it for himself. And that's probably why he's rich, because he's taking from others. Here he is. I have a prediction. I think Jesus is going to teach him a lesson. Zacharias had heard about Jesus. He was curious to see him, but he was short and could not see above the crowd. So he ran ahead and climbed up into a sycamore tree. From there, he could see everything. Soon Jesus came walking right under the sycamore tree. He looked up. He said, "Zacharias, hurry down. I want to stay with you today." Zacharias was amazed that Jesus would even speak to him. He climbed down from the tree and took Jesus to his house. People who knew Zacharias shook their heads and grumbled. "That man is a cheater and a sinner," they said, "and Jesus is going to his home to eat with him?" So people are upset. They're saying, why would Jesus choose this guy who's mean and selfish and dishonest and a sinner? Why would he go to his house? It was an honor for Jesus to stay with you. Why would he choose someone that's not good? Here's the pictures. But Zacharias was excited. He was like, wow, Jesus is talking to me. Zacharias was changed by being with Jesus. Later that day, the rich man stood up and told Jesus that he was going to give half of his money to the poor. And he was going to pay back all the people he had cheated and give them 4 times as much as he had taken. So he's saying he's going to give away almost all of his things to the people that he took from, for the people that have less than him, because by being with Jesus, he realized that he was not doing good things and that he needed to change. Jesus said to Zacharias, "I have come to look for and to save people who are lost. Today, you and your family have been saved. So, like we read about the lost sheep, people who are sinners, who are lost, they're not following Jesus with their hearts. Jesus is going around to try and save those people. So he chose Zacharias, a man who was a sinner, to go to his house because he wanted to save him. He was hoping that by being with him, Zacharias would change his ways and choose to do the right thing. And he did. So he was lost, he was a sinner, but then he was found by being with Jesus. So that just shows that Jesus wasn't just doing miracles, he wasn't just teaching, he was also sharing his beliefs with others that didn't believe, that weren't really good. But he was hoping that they would change. And like Zacharias, they did, which is so exciting, having more believers. So that is the rest of the stories for today. Tomorrow, even though it's Saturday, I'm going to do some more so that we can make sure that we are caught up and ready for Holy Week. I hope that you all had a wonderful week. I want you to make sure that you keep spending that special time with Jesus. When you're feeling sad or excited or happy or thankful, share that with Jesus. He is right there with you.